Aaron, could you help me turn off the fan because it's too loud? Thank you. Let's continue. In the afternoon and tomorrow's lecture, we are going to back to the client side, which is everything run in the browser. Okay, we finish our Node.js. Okay, for more Node.js, go to MWA. In the browser, we do have some global objects like we are familiar with about the window, okay? And they do have others like a document, location, navigator, screen, alert, like also has other methods like alert, promote those, okay? The document we're gonna use the most often for today and tomorrow. Like basically, suppose I want to detect or I want to attach a click event on one button. You have to through document to get it. And the location is related to the URL of your current page. If you want to do something with the URL, you can do. Navigator is related to the browser, which browser you are using, but it's very general, okay? Screen, suppose I want to take a look at where's my pointer, which is cursor, okay? Then you can through a screen to get the client X, client Y, all the informations. And history is related to this one, this back and forward the two buttons. If you have need, take a look at the API by yourself. Today, we only talk about the document. And for entire course, we only talk about document. DOM tree. Every element you put inside the HTML file is gonna have a DOM object related to that. And they're gonna, when a browser trying to draw the DOM for the HTML page, it will use a tree structure to display. The element of page are nested like a tree-like structure of object. So when you have HTML tag on the HTML page, you're gonna have HTML object there. When we have a head, which have a title, every tag you have on the page eventually gonna turn into an object, and the object we call DOM object, okay? And if I have a text, you also, each text is gonna become an object, okay? See here I have UL, LI, LI. Normally when we draw the DOM tree, we only draw for what? We only draw for the tags. Actually, each attribute, it will also become an element inside the DOM, okay? And each text also can be, but we generally we only draw about the element related to HTML tags. And once we get a DOM object, then we can do things about the DOM object. Like every element on the page has a corresponding DOM object. Take a look at here. For this image tag, okay, in the HTML code, when browser process our HTML, eventually it will create an object which associated with this image. Every element on the page has a corresponding DOM object. And here the DOM object is JavaScript object. Okay, it's DOM element object is actually a JavaScript object. If it's JavaScript object, it's gonna have a properties, it's gonna have a methods. Okay, so here take a look at it. We just list some of the properties here. So, for this image tag and corresponding to the DOM object, you're gonna have a tag name is image. You have src. What is src here? You have a alternative text. This one is my alternative text. You have ID, which is ID. So generally say every attribute you have in the HTML, you're gonna have what's the property inside the DOM object. And how to access the attribute of the DOM object, how to access dot notation, right? You have a object name, use a property name. See here, first, how can I get this image DOM object? The image is gonna have a DOM object in the browser. How can we get it? Use the document.getElement by ID, and this ID is the value over here. And once you this return value icon gonna represent a DOM object in the browser. And if I want to get src, then icon.src to be something. This one is a change of the value to be a non image. There are many ways to access a DOM object in JavaScript. It has DOM selectors. I will select the HTML element within a document using JavaScript. The one you need to understand is this one, okay? All others is also doable. Suppose I want to get elements by tag name. I want to get all the paragraph on the page, right? Then you can use get elements by tag name and pass P there. Okay. And if I want to get by a class name, suppose I have a class called a special. I want to get all the elements which has a class special, right? You say get elements, because it's a collection give to you, okay? By class name, then you give a class name there. But the ID, we say what's thing? Unique, right? So here is a get element by ID, you give ID. And a query selector will give you once. You can give like a paragraph, all the things to the query in type. Query selector will return a collection to you. The only one you need to understand is this one. All others, because React only use this one. React only have one place called document by ID, which you find a root. All others not used, okay? And if you want to practice themselves, practice by yourselves. I don't test and I don't use it, okay?
But get elements by class name, does it return an array also?
Yeah, it return an it's actually called HTML collections. You can treat it as an array. You can use index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get it. So now take a look at DOM events. It has so many DOM events. You can register on every DOM object. Okay, we're talking about the object. HTML DOM events allow JavaScript to register different events handled on elements in an HTML document. For this course, you only need to understand the click. If you use some special things in your project, okay, that's what you choose. Okay, you probably need. I forgot. Like you can have attach, like attach, load. We will talk about the window or the unload later. Okay, and drag. Suppose did you do something like a drag and drop? This is you can attach event on the drag and drop. I did a long time ago. Like change is what? Suppose I have a select. You switch you change the selection, right? That you can listen for this change event. Input, I have a text box. You put some things, input. Errors, if you want to listen for error, resize is a browser resize. We only talk about this one, okay? If you understand this one, are the same, just attach different events, right? Events can be triggered on any part of a document, like a body you can trigger, like a paragraph can trigger, a div can trigger, a button can trigger, okay? Basically, when you have action with the when you user have action, or browser can also trigger. Suppose we have a resize, it's resize on the browser. And when the browser finishes loading on our document, that's the browser, okay? So two places can trigger the events. Events are normally used in combination with the functions, and the function will be not executed before event occurs. When we do event, we'll attach function, but that function won't execute it unless you click that button, it will trigger. We'll show you in a minute. How to listen for event or touch for event? There are two ways. The first way is using on event, like on click, on touch, on something. Then here you give what's thing, function reference. Don't make a call to add a function, okay? And the other one is called add event listener. Here you give event, and here you give a function, okay? Let's take a look at what are they. Event demo.html. Okay. Suppose here I have a button. I call a button click me one. Okay, let me have some others. Click me two. Okay, then because I want to use document get element by ID, right? We have to give an ID attribute. This one I call button one. This one I call button two. Okay, then what I'm going to do is script. Okay, so how to attach the, I want to attach when I click me, I want to do something, right? How can we attach event? First, you must get the DOM object of the button one, button two, okay? How to get it? We have a global element or document, then we call get element by ID, okay? And you give the ID, ID should be unique, button one, okay? Then how to attach event? See here, we have a DOM object already used on the event to be the one you do, okay? Here we use on click because we want to attach click event. Okay? Make sure all of them are lowercase, okay? Here you give a function, general, most likely gonna be an anonymous function, okay? But you can define function and assign here. So I want just a console.log. button 1 clicked. Okay. So let's execute this one. First, this one ignore favorite icon. Okay. Now, when I refresh the page, did we see anything being printed here? No, this is because this line talking about the function, okay? The function will not be executed before event occurs because this function is gonna be called only when we click on this button, understand me? If I don't click, it won't happen. So now when I click on this button, you will see button 1 clicked. But click again, you will see here the number. See here, change it, right? Every time you click, that function gonna be executed, understand? Right? But if I take a look at this, will this work? No. What's gonna happen? It will immediately print this one, and the callback gonna be, no, callback. The returned value gonna be associated here, right? So what's gonna happen is, okay, let's see here. When I refresh the page, you have button 1 clicked, and when I click here, see here, nothing happened. This is because this is a function call, okay? Here we expect to be a function reference, not a call it. And what's gonna happen? This one immediately execute and return the value gonna be what's there. You actually have undefined here, okay? After it call undefined. So make sure when you write a code, make sure it's it's a function reference, not a function call, okay? This one. This is the first way, use onClick. There's another way, document.getElement by ID. Okay, here button 2, which is click me too. Here it also have a method called the add event listener. Add event listener. The first one is what kind of event you want, and don't use on something. Just give event name like a click. Then here you can attach a function. You can use the arrow function. You can use a normal function. But when we use the arrow function, then you're gonna lose this keyword. I will show you later. Okay. So here I have a console log click button 2 clicked. Now let's go back. Take a look at click 1 works, right? Click 2 also works. See here, right? So what's the difference between them? Oh, sorry. You get it. What's the difference? Anyone else know observer pattern? Observer pattern? Okay, the problem, let's take a look at the problem, okay? I just do like this way, okay? When I write this piece of code, what's gonna happen? This one gonna override this one, because this one is it's like this way. Const have obj equals empty object, suppose, okay? I do obj dot onClick equals suppose ABC, okay? Suppose 1, 2, 3, okay? Then I use obj dot onClick equals ABC. You got me? So this at the beginning, this one gonna register onClick event have value this one, right? And later on, this one gonna override this one, right? Same thing. If we use onClick, the later one gonna override the previous one. So eventually, you only have one event being registered. So here, when I click, you will only have this one. So the previous one is being lost, okay? But when we use this one, let's do 3 times, okay? 3, okay? And that's the difference. Can I see here? Can I see here? That's the difference. Because this add event listener, when I do, it will have a kind of like an object. and the key gonna be click, and a click, all the callbacks gonna be pushed into the array. So when the event click is filed, it will loop that array and file all the all the callbacks. Okay, that's the difference. If you don't understand, you need to take a look at observer pattern. Basic idea is when we use add event listener, for all the callbacks here, it's gonna push in the array. It want to override. So when the click event fired, right, it's gonna fire all the call event handlers, which is the callbacks here. That's the difference between them. You probably want to use them. There's no cases you will use this one in the project. You can always use this one, but in some cases, if you need to fire multiple, events, then you can do like fire multiple functions using the same events. You can do like this way.
Does it get execute in the order based?
Yes. Yes. Look at this. It's based on the source code, the order is based on the source code that you put. The callbacks, which one gonna be fired, which gonna be second, gonna be based on the order you put. It's like when we push, because every time gonna be pushed into the array, right? It doesn't jump, The array in JavaScript and in Java array, you based on the index. You know what I mean? The order is when the order in the array of each element is based on when you push inside. So when it call, it's also the same.
Will be pushed to the array and array will be passed to the queue to get executed.
Yeah. You can consider like that way. Back, okay. So this is a difference, okay. Mouse event, it has so many. We only do this one, okay. On click, it also have, sorry, my bad. It also have others. If you're interested, just do some demos by yourself, okay? Like a mouse over mouse the thing. Oh, let me give one example. Like a mouse hover, okay? Then we can practice this keyword to show a difference between arrow function, not the arrow function, okay? HTML. What's gonna do is suppose here we have a paragraph, okay? Let me copy some paragraph. This one is a good example paragraph. Paragraph, okay. Then here I have ID, which is content. I don't have a good name, okay. And then what's gonna happen is when I hover, when I hover on this paragraph, I want to have a background color, like say yellow something. Got me? Okay. One way you can do is like this way. Script, okay. First, we have to get this paragraph, right? Always get it in by ID, okay. Probably your project, you may need to use class or something, okay. When you have problem, you can ask me, I will fix for you. Then I want to, what I'm gonna do? I want to change this paragraph, okay, to be background color, which is red, okay. How would we do here? Sorry. It's fine. Mouse over, okay. Have on it, okay. Then we do another one. Mouse leave. Okay, then we change it back to the white. How about I do that? When this one, I want to change background color to be red, and this one I want to change background color to be red back. Okay, which is black, white. So here we have to get this paragraph, right? One way you can do like this way. Dot style, okay. Dot background color. Okay. It's better you use CSS, you add CSS, okay? This one is ugly because when we use CSS define with background color, dash color, right? Here you need to use all camel case. It's
if I use this.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, okay? That's great. I will explain. I'll go first, then I'll go second. Okay, great. Okay, wait for us. Ready, right? But when I leave, you see nothing happened. Okay, because here I didn't do. As Muhammad said, here, when we have this is my callback. This callback is on this element, right? And when we use a regular function, this keyword will represent this object. You attach the event, this object. Then you can use this background style, the background color equals white. Okay. So here, it's already so okay. Leave, no, have, leave, have, leave. And this is using this keyword, and which is more suitable for this case. You don't need to get an element again, okay? But if we change it to be arrow function, you see here, doesn't work because this keyword will represent what? Exactly. Will give you what thing? Okay. Window, see here. Okay. Because the window don't have a style. That's why you have an arrow here. You got me? Can I say the properties of undefined of background color? Because window don't have style, so this one get undefined. You are trying to add a background color undefined, you get that arrow. So that's the thing. If you need to use this keyword in the callback event handler, then don't use arrow function. Okay.
So can
You can do like this. Then if you do, it's gonna be duplicated code. You got me? Oh no, you cannot bind arrow function. If you bind it doesn't work. Okay, arrow function you cannot bind a call apply doesn't work. Okay, my bad. Arrow function cannot. Okay. No. Oh yes, first one you can use this one because I didn't use this keyword. You reach the document again. Okay. But generally we want to, you know, ask a browser to search entire DOM to get you again. Yeah. This keyword will represent. Okay. This one, the first one works. Okay. Because we don't have this keyword. Only when you use this keyword, don't use arrow function. Okay, very simple. Okay, yeah, last slide.
okay.
Okay, go back.
Here when we use style.background color, and does it do some sort of a CSS changes or like?
Yeah, it will have. Let's see. Okay. See here, background color red. And why not leave red?
So like for that particular element, it is going to take the style.
And it's gonna be using inline style. See here, you can add every HTML element is gonna have a style tag, a style attribute. Sorry, style attribute. It's gonna use inline styles for all the things we did here. It's better we just you can do CSS. Yeah. What do how to do CSS? Do like this way, okay? CSS is also difficult to work, okay? Which is warning, okay? And background color, which is red, right? Then what you do is I will do let's do this one. Then class. It should have something called class names or something. Let me see. Okay, it should have something called class names, class list, right? Let me check. If not, let me search the API. Okay, because seems not okay. See here. See here. Do you see here? See here. This class list, and if we do this one, then use this class. It's not a called class. Take a look at here. Okay. Did I have white? No. Let's add another one, which you call the default. Okay. Background color, which is what's the white. The reason why, do you remember white? This one works. See here.
For the default is.
Yeah, because I do not have a class called white, and it doesn't do anything, so it's going to the default one. Okay, and if when we change to be default, suppose this one we call blue. So at the beginning we'll see white, right? Then we call then blue, like this. You got me? And here also bring another thing you notice. There's nothing called a class attribute. As I remember, if it has that, see here, don't do anything, see here. So if you use DOM APIs, if we want to work with the class, you have to use class list. And that's another reason why nowadays we don't use plain DOM APIs. It's so hard to use, you know, because inside the CSS, we use the background color like this way. And in DOM API, you have to use background color like this way. And in HTML, we have an attribute called class like this, right? But in the DOM, you have to use the class list. You got what I mean? So that's why we have other, before React Angular, we have jQuery. And after jQuery, we have React and Angular now. But unfortunately, we have to, for this course, we have to go over, okay? This is one. And the last one, last one DOM events we are going to cover is window unload. This one I'm talking about. Just now we mentioned the events can trigger by users interaction or by the browser, right? See here, what we did now is my users interaction. So what kind of events can be triggered by the browser? The one we list here out, like on error. Suppose when I load your script, you have some error. Like, let's see, okay. Yeah, my bad. Let me change the name. Yeah, HTML. Okay. So here, let's have a script. Okay. Console.log. Okay, which is like an ABC. Okay. Let's say username. You gone through error, right? Something not defined. Okay. Yes. Okay. And here I will have window.onError. Okay. Equals function. Console.log. Oops, like this. Okay, let's take a look at this one. You notified. Which be wrong when error occurs. Did I press wrong? Let's see. Yeah, this one image on error. Yeah. Why not this one? Cannot load this kind of error. The same kind. This one works. Why won't my doesn't work? Do I need to? Oh.
That error occurs in the HTML.
But why this one then? Why my doesn't work? Why is my why is because it says when HTML, right? I wrote this. I used the only once about on error long time ago, like 6 or 7 years ago. Used on error in one of my page. After things I never used on error. Let's take a look at it, okay. Execute a JavaScript if an error occurs when loading the image. Files when loading an external file document. Do we need to have an arrow? Yo, same thing. Okay. Doesn't matter. We're gonna let's skip this one. Okay. I don't know why it didn't fire, but just now that one fired. Okay. Image src, src. Let's try this one. Okay. Here have an arrow. We can do like this way. Okay. Let's try this one. Why don't you have window? Just hello.jpg. We don't have, right? Oh, sorry, my bad. We put it here, okay? And let's give an ID, image, okay? Here, let me try, okay? Document.element by ID to have image, okay? Let's see if it's gonna happen, okay? So let's see. Can you see here? Still not fired. See, right? But if I do like this one, yeah, I have a foo. Okay, then let me define a foo. Oh, I have to go here first. See here, guys. This one's still not fired. Do I need to put it? Let me put it before it. Okay.
Is there any
No. Oh, it executed this. Ew. No, yes.
That's an error.
Oh, this one works. Okay. But why when we use document.getEnemy by ID the error doesn't work? Okay, let me try tomorrow on error. Okay, because I don't know the reason why it doesn't work. The main thing we will have to talk about is this one, Windows unload, which are files after the page is finished loading. So what's gonna happen? Let me show you our previous demo. Okay, suppose this demo. Okay, we have two buttons. Here. We have two buttons. And then here we have a script here. And for this script, let me make it only have two. Okay, there's no need to have multiple here. So here, let's test again. It should work. It works, right? But now take a look at carefully. Okay, for this script, I put it here. Okay, put it here. Then I refresh the page again. You still already see the error. So here. You will get the error cannot set properties of non-setting on click. And when you take a look here, you will see this one, which this one is none. And then on click. The reason because of that is when is our browser execute our JavaScript code. Okay, so when we load the page, the browser will process our HTML, right? The moment he see the script tag, okay, it's gonna execute all the code inside between the script tag, okay? And what happened is when the browser execute this line, it hasn't reached or hasn't rendered the buttons. So buttons is not exist in the DOM yet. That's why you get a none here. See here, we will console log this one, okay? You see here, this is none. The reason is because browser executed our code based on the source code line by line, okay? And when it reached here, the browser hasn't deal anything with this part. The button does not exist at the moment we execute our JavaScript code. Understand? And why we put after it works? Because browser will load our page, he will load the header, he will load the body, he will load the button, right? And then execute this piece of code, right? So it's already there. Okay, you got it? So that's why it works. Suppose we really want to put the code here, what should we do? We use Windows.unload function. And you can put the entire things inside here. Yeah, my bad. Let me format it, okay? Okay. So when we do like this way, you will see it works. See here. Why it works is because now we talk about all those event handlers will only be called when the event happens, right? Will we immediately execute this code? like think about it. When with this one on click, I have a function here, right? Where to be immediately called? No, only when I click this button, it will call this function, right? Right. And the same thing happened for this window.onload. This function will be executed when what's thing? The browser already finished the loading of the page, and which means it already reached the end of here. Then come back, execute this code. When you come back, execute this code, the buttons are already there. It depends where your script is being put. Okay, if your script is put before the body, then there's no need to use window.onload. If we put it on the head, that's my personal habit. I put it in the head. Okay, then we have to use window.onload. There's no good or not good, just the different. You will see some like our frameworks, we will put it at the end. Some frameworks we will put it in the front. That's it. Finish. Okay, and make sure you do a little bit practice of the event handler, and you do have a homework. Let's take a look at the homework. And then we have one more lecture. Then I'm going to have a break. It's first one, this one, okay. This one I will upload the letter, okay. Server side, which is the one I wrote in the class, or you can, if you don't like that one, in the resource. And here in the demos, this one should have one. Inside here, do I have one? I'll upload whatever I wrote just now, in the morning, okay. This one. If you want to download this one, you can download this one, okay? Or I will upload the one into the later. Wait a minute for a second, I'll put it here. And then you can also create everything from scratch. I suggest you create everything from scratch, okay? And if you use download ones, make sure you run npm install, otherwise it won't work. What's gonna happen is practice our RESTful application, add a CRUD on the books, okay? You have to create a model called the books. Okay, then do add a new book, get all the book, get a single book, update a book, delete a book. Okay, and the book will have properties, ID, title, ISBN, publisher date, and author. Okay, and make proper changes. This one is talking about if you using the shopping cart server or the one I used, you change it by yourself. If you create it from scratch, then you write it by yourself. And then use the Postman to test your RESTful APIs. Okay. Okay, any question? No question? Good. Let me give you guys a demo. Do you want to do meditation now or you want to wait? Meditate now? Okay. Oh, meditate at home? Oh, okay. So you want to leave now or later? Okay. Okay, I will upload the code into in-class demos, okay? Then see you guys tomorrow, okay? Okay, thank you too. Thank you too. See you guys in Recreation Center, okay? Recreation Center. Oh, I'm going to play badminton there.
Here for
You can, if you want, you can bring a chair.
for-
Oh, let me.
it's okay. So based on what I give here, so how do I get to this more for page?
Oh, type anything like /ABC.
Yeah, so when I type, it crashes.
What did they say? What did they say? Is not a function. Why you have a down there? Is not a function. First, let's try one by one how to debug. Okay. First, I'm going to comment. Did you test?
These things work.
Oh, I know why. You know why? You see this pastor join?
Yeah.
You are trying to send a file, right? You pass join this one.
Oh,
This
should be
one
inside.
should be here. I think okay. Let's try one more time.
Yeah.
We have to be careful.
So, when we do this router,
Mm.
page router,
Mhm.
product router,
Mm.
so whenever I have this big HTMLs with scripts and everything, so is it advisable to send it like this, or
No.
can I just send with a send file?
Yes, send the file is better because this is your HTML file, right? Yeah, it's better you use send the file. And if we want to use what's thing, use the Node Express, right, to build the front and the back together, you know, and we want to use HTML, it will use something called res.render. You have to add the template. It will use like a template. Do you know JSP? No. How about templates for this thing? Oh, no. Okay. So what's gonna happen is because HTML is static.
Okay.
And if we have a scenario, it's like I have a website. When a different user logs in, I want to say welcome Jiran, welcome Jeremiah, right? But with HTML, you have to hard code the Jeremiah or Jeremiah or Jiran there. So it's not suitable for those kind of dynamic cases.
Okay.
What's gonna happen is we're gonna have template. And we're gonna have like when we work with string, have those things, right? Template, you don't need to work with string. You will have method to replace the values. So gonna use render. But this is when for practice. There's some template called like a JED, Park, JED, Mustache. I'll all work with Express.
So when we do the project, we're gonna build it with
No.
same file.
No, we're going to use JSON.
Wait. So the front end is gonna be the same like this, right?
No, front we're gonna use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, which is in another.
It's gonna make it fall to the.
We're gonna have two. We're going to have two projects. We're gonna have two folder. This is our client. Client will have CSS, HTML, and JS. So the HTML here gonna be here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have server. Server is our REST. REST only JSON return, and we will use JS talk with our server side.
Yeah.
So gonna be separate. You will no longer use this thing.
Alright.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Adjustment as proposed.
Let me finish this one. I'll come to you. Okay. Let me have this one. Give done. Put it there.
Grocery. I do have